Today we're going to look at multiplying by decimals, but we need to start with the whole numbers. What happens when we multiply 48 by 10? Is your number going to be a bigger number or is it going to be a smaller number, and how do we solve it? Here is our place value chart. Everything on that side of the ones is going to be a decimal fraction, tenths, hundredths, thousands, forever and ever. And everything on this side will be whole numbers. The decimal point will live in this column. Now, we've got 48 times 10. There are no decimal points to worry about, which is lucky. So we always start in the ones, and we have 0 times 8 is 0. So there's 0 to report there. And of course, 0 times 40 is 0. So that's fine. We've fixed that column up. Now we're going to be doing a multiplication by 10 because that 1 is in the tens column. So 10 times 8 is 80. Most people say 1 times 8 and pop it in the tens column, but once that 8 goes in the tens column, it's an 80. There's no getting away from that. So we finish with the ones column, we'll go into the tens column. We have 10 times 40. Most people say 10 times 4, but they really mean 40. Now, we have 10 times 40 is 400. We put that in the hundreds column. And there's our answer to 10 times 48. It is bigger than what we started with. Now let's multiply by fractions, by tenths. There are two ways. That is exactly the same as that, but to put it into a place value chart, 1/10 becomes 0.1. What do you think? Will 48 times 1/10 or 48 times 0.1 be bigger than 48 or smaller than 48? This is what 48 times 0.1 or 1/10 looks like on a place value chart. What we have now that we didn't have before is because we have tenths, we now have the decimal point living between the ones and the tenths. Now, what are we doing? We're going to multiply by 1/10. So that will be 1/10 times an eighth, which will be 8/10. So now that goes to live in the tenths column. You notice it isn't the decimal point that's moving though. What is doing the moving? The number is going to the next column to show that its value is 1/10 of whatever it was. Now, we want 1/10 of 40 because it's 40 because it's in the tens column. You know what 1/10 of 40 is. It is always 4. And our answer is 4.8 or 4 8/10, which is smaller than we started with. So the sum total, it looks like the decimal point moves. But what really is happening, it is the columns that move, or the numbers that go to their rightful column where their value is. So remember, it looks like the decimal point is moving, but it's actually the columns or the numbers that are moving. Think about that, and that cheeky 8 just definitely wants to be 100ths, doesn't it? There it goes, and that is the correct response. Good luck with practicing multiplication with decimals.